I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in a lot of stuff. But the universe is really trying to make me believe in it with this one because... Hi everyone, I'm Alexander Bonelli. I'm a documentary filmmaker based in Northeast Pennsylvania near Scranton. Today we are finally talking about the new Canon R6 V. I had my hands on with this camera for about a week. I know this is a camera geared more towards content creators, but with these specs and that price, I just really wanted to see if I could use this on a documentary shoot, not just filming my kids in the backyard. Okay, and filming my kids in the backyard. And here is that short documentary. Now stick around after because I'm going to tell you a little bit about the making of it, and the story of how this came together might be even better than the documentary itself. So please stick around for that, and I'll share a little bit about the Canon R6 V, and enjoy.
There are certain things in life that go beyond money. This is kind of an organism, so to speak. If you don't maintain it, it will disintegrate. The overriding law of the universe. Things come into existence. Once they come into existence, they immediately start to degrade. That is the definition of entropy. The real reason that I set this all up totally went out the window, so I had to go in a different direction. I had it set up in a room in my house. I had track running over the top of my couch. But as I started to expand the collection, I said, I would just like for other people to see this. I discovered this space here. I approached the owner and I said, hey, I want to set up a model railroad display. And I said, I'd like to rent this space for 3 months. And he said, just go ahead and set up. If this is just a display, I'm not going to charge you any rent. Everybody just went, wow, that's interesting. How long is it going to stay here? And I said, well, I'm just going to keep adding to it as long as the owner allows me to stay here. All these plants are mine, and I come to town every day to water them. So I'm here in the summertime, at least, every day. Parents that come by with their little kids, they get their cameras out, and I don't know if they're filming the trains or they're filming their kids. But last Halloween, I had over 200 kids pass through here.
Do you have a family?
I have a family that they live on the West Coast and in the South, and they're real busy, and I don't see them as much as I'd like to because I don't have any contact with them. I haven't seen them in years, but that's how things are sometimes. I have grandkids that I kind of started this collection for, and they don't even know that it's here. I started collecting the trains based on color. I picked a color that I thought this grandchild would like, and I picked another color. Maybe one day, at the very least, have them appreciate this after I'm gone. I've got a derailment over there. The train came completely off the track. When I went from just the 2 tracks and started to add cars and started to add people and started to add buildings and started to add features and started to add organization to it, it kind of fell under the heading of if you don't maintain it, it will disintegrate. And that's a phenomenon called entropy. So long as I don't allow this to degrade, so long as I continue to pour energy into it, it will just continue to be functional, surrounded by happy people.
I know we just met. I can't help but hear that and find an incredible juxtaposition to the story you told me about your son and your grandson.
Yeah, I know. It is. Yeah, I'm glad you're aware of that because I have a hurt that you just finally touched the nerve of, and it sinks in that there are a lot of people that love this, but the people that I would like to love this aren't even a part of this through family difficulty. We're not on the same level, and we haven't been for a lot of years. You're the first person in years that's pulled that out of me. In spite of those kind of things, you can't let it overrule how you proceed. If there's a road closed sign, you have to find another way. Otherwise, you'll just sit there. Something will happen to this after I'm gone, and I'll make sure that it's a good thing that happens to this after I'm gone. There goes the owner of the local hardware store.
These little things mean country to me. Just the sound of the night.
All right, that was my Canon R6 V short documentary. This whole thing was shot handheld with the Canon R6 V. The only time I used a tripod was for the interview. There were no B cameras. There was nothing else. It's all Canon R6 V, C-Log 2, and a mix of, 4K fine, open gate. I didn't shoot any of it in RAW, though. It's all compressed. And I'm really happy with the results of the image quality. I really think image-wise, this holds up with any Canon cinema camera. It's great.
I didn't use a single light. This was all natural light. I didn't even have my lights with me because I didn't know I'd be shooting a documentary. More on that later. I thought this was also a good test of the dynamic range of the camera because it is a big exterior window and there are lots of shadows, lots of highlights, and I think it does pretty well. I think the dynamic range looks great.
I had the R6 V. I knew I had it for about a week, and I was really struggling to find a very quick, short subject that I can film for a documentary. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go walk around downtown Nicholson, which is behind me. And I just take out the camera and I just start taking photos. I'm really just taking pictures of the bridge, of, everything else. And all of a sudden I noticed these model trains in a little store window. So I go over to him, I start taking pictures, and then an older gentleman comes up to me and starts talking to me, and I soon realize that he is the gentleman responsible for this train set in the window. And within 30 seconds of meeting this guy, I'm filming his trains, and I'm just like, can I interview you about this? And he was like, okay, sure. And it was just crazy. Within 30 seconds of just walking around somewhere with a camera, I met someone, and we started shooting a short documentary. Now, I understand a lot of times you may want to do like, hey, let me research this person or this subject to see what the story is or if there is a story. I saw these trains in the window. I've been making documentaries for a long time. When I saw those trains and I saw this guy, it clicked in my head that there is a deeper reason for this. This is not just, I'm doing this make the town better and give people a smile for their day. So I just trusted my intuition that there was something there and that I would find it. And sure enough, about 40 minutes into the interview, we found it. I made a video about how to interview people, right? I give you a lot of tips in my 15 plus years of interviewing people for documentaries. I've interviewed over 1,000 people. So I see a lot of things. I notice a lot of things. And when we got to the part where he was talking about these kids that would come to his, exhibit or his little storefront, I asked him, do you have a family? And you can hear me say that in the film. And instantly when I saw him squirming, like the yellow light went off. And then when he started answering that question, his initial answer to the question was he started talking about his siblings. It was like a siren going off in my head. If someone asks you if you have a family and you're his age, I'm guessing he's like late 60s, you don't start talking about your siblings unless you were never married and never had children. Eventually, we got to his children and then his grandchildren. When we shot for another maybe half hour, an hour. After that, I got some B-roll. And as I was getting into my car, he walked over to me and he's like, I don't know if you're even going to make a film out of this or what you're going to do with it, but I just want you to know no matter what happens, this was special to me. And it was like one of those moments in life where you're just like, what? Like this guy, and he told me no one has ever interviewed him. He's never given an interview in his life. And this guy was ready to talk. He was ready to talk to someone. And, I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in a lot of stuff. But the universe is really trying to make me believe in it with this one, because the odds of me just randomly walking around a town and him randomly showing up. He wasn't at his train station. He just randomly showed up and we just met. The universe literally put us together, if that's what you want to think. I don't think that way, but it really feels like it this time.
So I guess the lesson here is pay attention. Look at the world. Look at people. Don't just listen to their words. Look at the signs. Because everyone has a story buried in there somewhere. And sometimes it's right on the surface, and other times you have to use a little dynamite to get to it. And if you're interested in creating or producing short documentaries like this, or feature documentaries, or you have a documentary that you need feedback on or help with, I do offer documentary consulting. Just click the link below. You can read more about it. Whether you need help with story structure or gear or finding a subject, editing the film, releasing it. I've already worked with a bunch of people, and every single person I've worked with has come back for another session. Just check the link below, stan.store/Manelli Films.
My full review on the Canon R6 V is coming soon. This was just to see what it can do in a documentary setting. And I have to admit, I'm very impressed with the image quality. That's great. But this camera does have some issues, for me at least, for my needs as a documentary filmmaker. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. That video is coming soon. And if you liked this, if you like kind of seeing a real-life, real-world test of the camera, I did this for the Canon C50, for the Canon C70, so go check out those reviews. And make sure you like and subscribe and use the affiliate links and all that stuff. And I will see you in my Canon R6V review.